impactful journalism. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. Our digital address GOGA0993341, and also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM, Cape Coast, Radio Max, Takrady, Jubilee FM in Keta, Kekeli Radio Ho, it's on ABN Radio in London, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DG Bank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. And coming up, government describes a successful regional disinfection of markets as it deploys security agencies, including military, to supervise the exercise. But not all traders are complying.
The timing is wrong. The timing is wrong. Monday, the market
We'll bring you updates from across the capital. Also, Parliament makes arrangements to relocate temporarily to the conference centre as part of measures to curb spread of COVID-19 among MPs.
We are in the process of making all relevant arrangements if we can relocate temporarily to the conference centre.
We'll hear more as the Speaker makes a case for a new chamber. Also, immigration officials on high alert at the Ghana-Togo border as they detain travelers trying to use unauthorized routes into Togo.
This is jeopardizing life. The thing is now, we are in the middle of the sea now. We can't go from, we can't go back. What do we do? So, it's just frustrating issue right now.
We'll hear more as stranded travelers say they are unaware of the directive on the shutdown of the country's borders, and later making the most out of a dire situation. We'll tell you about a fashion designer who's ventured into nose mask production to make up for the shortfall caused by the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Because I love doing what I love to do, I was thinking of doing something to help Ghanaians. Because most of the cover nose we are using, the mask we are using, they are imported.
Stay with us for details. I'm Araba Koomson. Let's settle for the details. Government has described as successful the regional disinfection of markets as it deployed security agencies, including military personnel, to supervise the disinfections of the various markets across Accra today. The military personnel joined officials of the local government ministry and other agencies such as NACOP for the spring exercise. The teams are disinfecting markets such as Makola, Agbogloshi, Madina, and the Tema markets, among others. A while ago, my colleague Maxwell Ababa filed this report.
This district, specifically the Kantamanto market, it is empty with no activity whatsoever. The disinfection exercise has actually started. We have a pickup truck going in there deep down to do the disinfection. Earlier also we had a big truck, disinfecting the streets of the central business district. I'm trying to get some of the people to speak to me to find out from them what they know about the coronavirus. Chief, you're welcome to join. At the end of the day,
we are talking about UTC, yeah.
Well, he says he sells woolen carpets here. Catch me, and you may be anyone now.
Oh, and coronavirus in Intina, and I may should buy the Dabana says, ordinary Guaquem.
He says he's highly optimistic that if we continue to disinfect our markets, the markets wouldn't become a hotspot. Wouldn't become hotspots for the coronavirus, and he's lauding the initiative by government to disinfect.
So that was Maxwell Ababa a while ago. He joins us on the line now. Maxwell, which areas have you been to, and how has the exercise been generally?
Yeah. So we're at the Central Business District, which is the beehive of activity every weekday. That was conspicuously missing as the traders complied with the directive to stay off the market. The doors of banks and other businesses at the Central Business District were shut. Some of the owners we spoke to told us that this is to allow the disinfection team go about their duties without any inhibition whatsoever. At the Kantamanto market itself, where you will usually find young, exuberant traders trying to get your attention with their wares, did not exist today, to the point that we saw some of the traders playing a game of football in the market. We met the mayor of Accra there, and he says he's so far impressed with the compliance level, and he's also reacted to viral claims on social media that the disinfectant being used for the spraying exercise cannot kill virus but only rodents.
And Maxwell, initially there were some concerns about whether this exercise was actually a fumigation exercise or a disinfection exercise and its effect on food items. You've been speaking to the mayor. What has he been saying about this?
Well, what the mayor told us is that although this the chemical that you're using is not harmful, it is necessary for them to take precautionary measures, and that is why they asked the traders to cover. That is why they asked the traders to cover their wares with polythene bags, and indeed that was what we saw when we were on the ground. But all the things that we saw at the market, majority of them were covered with different layers of big polythene bags to make sure that they are, protected from the spraying exercise. The mayor also told us that the chemicals that they're using is not harmful, but it's important for them to take precautionary measures.
I still find some people who move about on the periphery of the market, but within the market, we are not entertaining anybody within the market. And as a practice, if a trader is closing for the day, is supposed to cover the words, especially food items. But we re-echoed it simply because we are doing disinfection and we are using chlorine, as much as we've been told that it's not toxic, but we think that safety measures have to be adhered to. In the event that we find anywhere open and it's not covered, that will be taken away and it will be seized. So that also must be explained to people for them to understand.
I'm sure over the weekend you saw some information that was going viral on social media that we're talking about a virus, but we're doing a disinfection that people think that would only kill rodents, and rats. Many were those who do not know that this can also kill virus. Maybe you'd want to correct that impression that is out there.
Well, the chlorine is killing bacteria and viruses, and not rodents and cockroaches. So we will not end up in the day with a lot of rats.
So that's my colleague Maxwell Ababa speaking to the Accra Mayor Nia J. So he's still on the line with us. Maxwell, you've also been speaking to the military commander lead. Well, Maxwell is not on the line now, but we can hear from Lieutenant General O'Day, who has been supervising the exercise.
Actually, looking at the wide nature and then the spread of the disinfectant, I think we had over 300 soldiers so far, by group into smaller numbers, supporting each of the various groups of those doing the spraying, and also covering the various markets in the whole Greater Accra. Yes, so we have over 300 soldiers and officers. Yeah.
What really is the role of the military in all of this? Are they also taking part in the disinfection exercise, or they are just making sure that people comply with the directive to stay off the market?
Yes, I think for us there are three areas we are covering. First of all, protection to those who are doing the spraying. And then secondly, we are also ensuring that we conduct patrol to ward off intruders. Now, people have abandoned their shops, and it's not all the shops or the markets that have gates. So we make sure we have patrols to make sure people don't go in behind to break people's shop. So a kind of security for the various markets. And the third aspect is also we have markets with gates, and we make sure that the gates are secure. Nobody breach into those things. So we have static guard duties. That will be here till maybe tomorrow morning until the market is open, to ensure that no intruders come in to disturb in those directions. So that has been our main focus. Yes.
So far, I realized that you've been patrolling the streets. We've also been to some of the busy parts of the central business district. they are deserted. I want to find out from you, are you impressed with so far how the traders are complying with the directive?
Yes, it's very impressive because so far you've not received any resistance from anybody, which is good that people are complying with the directives, and it makes our work easier. And I think if every one of us go on like that, I think that has to be very successful. So I'm very pleased and also want to say thank you to the market women and then others for allowing us to do our job. And this is a good sign.
Finally, how early did you have to deploy the military? Because I was listening to the 6 a.m. news on Joy FM, and our health news, the head of our health desk at Joy FM reported that, as at 6 a.m., you were up already and soldiers were being deployed. How early did you have to do this?
Yes, we are working around the clock throughout.
So that's Lieutenant Colonel Ode. He's commanding officer of the 5th Battalion in charge of the military that's supervising the exercise. Well, the disinfection exercise has ended at the Malam and Odoko markets. My colleague Nancy Emefradradosi, who's been monitoring the exercise, says the traders were given enough education about what to do to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. She joins us on the line. Nancy, how did the exercise go down in the markets that you visited?
So, I started from the Agboshi market this morning, and then I went to the Malam market, to the Odoko lorry station, Dakuma, and also Kokompe. And currently, I'm standing in the middle of the market at the Malam market, and the place is virtually empty. It appears that all the traders here complied with the directive of the crowd that this particular disinfection of the market should take place. And so I see nobody. I've been standing here for the past 20 minutes. I haven't seen anybody here. But it appears that the disinfection team has also completed its work and has the site.
Nancy, and one of the concerns that has come up is how the traders will maintain good hygienic practices after this exercise. Is there a plan of any sort the environmental officers are going to deploy?
Yes, so the environmental officers tell me that their work has just done and that they have started rolling out a series of sensitization programs for market for the traders. And ever since the coronavirus started, they have been to the market, educating the market women on the need to wash their hands everyone now and then, sanitizers around them. Also, the market king has also sent me to a site where they're constructing some 40 sheds for market women, and he tells you that the distance between one trader and the other would be very wide, so that if there's any spread of anything, them would be infected. And so there's a comprehensive plan to ensure that the market women comply with the directives.
Many thanks, Nancy Emefradradosi. In Tema, the exercise did not start early, and some traders were seen opening their shops in clear violation of the local government ministry's directive.
But the timing is wrong. The timing is wrong. Mondays, the market is coming in. It have been better.
And you read this almost at the time. Our machine. Magina ho abom nsemo a se obi amfanko da bre bi kura da amfanko wo mu aye bekọ de wo mu ayaka ne de enya ade se ye tie me.
So that's the market queen at Tema Community 5 saying that some of the traders did not adhere to the directive. My colleague Mamiesi Nyameche Thompson has been monitoring the exercise there and joins us on the line. Mamiesi, what reasons did the traders give for insisting on selling today?
Araba, they claim that some of them didn't hear the information that went out to them that they shouldn't sell today at the market. Others too gave the impression that they had to come get items for their children and elderly people living at home, which brought some of them into the market. For now, spraying exercise is almost ended. Most of the areas like Community 1, which is the biggest central business district in Tema, is almost completed. We've been to Tema New Town, which is also almost completed. So the exercise we started about 10 a.m. in the morning is almost done. When we spoke to the MC, Felix Ni Ananla, he explained that this fumigation exercise is different. It has come along as a result of the coronavirus disease, and so this hasn't been targeted at rats or reptiles that will normally be in the market, but to slow down viruses or germs that could be harmful to the market women. And when I asked him about if it's going to stop any virus from spreading in the market, he told me yes. He also said they are rolling out some sanitation exercises for the market women to go by, so that when they come back into the market, they will be conscious of their health and also conscious of not spreading the virus in the markets. Araba.
Macy Nyamichet Thompson from Tema there. Let's now head to Ayawaso Central, where 35 personnel from Zoom Lion sprayed 4 markets there. They're supported by officials of the local government ministry. Hannah Odame is with that team. She joins us on the line. Hannah, we know that Nima and Malamata markets fall under this zone. Which other markets have the officers been spraying? Unfortunately, we've lost Hannah on the line. So that's a wrap on the spraying exercise, the disinfection of markets across the capital. We'll be bringing you more updates in our subsequent bulletins. But moving on from the market, Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, has confirmed Parliament is making arrangements to relocate temporarily to the conference centre as part of measures to curb the spread of COVID-19 among MPs. He's confident this will cause the public to rethink the need for a new enclave for MPs to undertake their businesses. He's also asking MPs to leave a seat in between where they sit.
And this we discussed a leadership meeting this morning. The view of the global instructions as to distance between persons when seated or standing. For the time being, we want to let one seat in between every 2 members, so that we sit in a way whereby it will be healthy for us, and also we will be showing a good example to our countrymen and women, because of our stature as members of this. Meanwhile, as the majority leader suggested the other day, we are in the process of making all relevant arrangements if we can relocate temporarily to the conference center, of course with the permission of the executive, and carry on for our business there. And maybe these things will make people realize that Parliament really is in need of a more spacious place to do the business that we are mandated to do. So in future, all these things will be considered accordingly.
So that's Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay. We're joined on the line by parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gapo. Joseph, we understand minority MPs have walked out of Parliament. What is the issue? Hello, Joseph. If you can hear me, we're picking up information that the minority MPs have walked out of Parliament. What prompted that?
That just happened. Muntaka Mubarak, the minority chief whip, virtually interrupted proceedings on the floor because he had been trying to catch the speaker's attention for quite a while. The speaker hadn't recognized him. And so even as a conversation was ongoing on the corporate insolvency bill, he interrupted that and kept speaking even as the chairman of the committee that was working on that was also speaking. And he indicated that he had tried to draw attention to the fact that they didn't have enough numbers on the floor to undertake business. He made the point that the speaker's actions to allow continuous proceedings was lawless and to a certain extent shameful, and he said that they, the minority, were exactly not happy about it. So when he was done, he walked out of the chamber, and a few minutes later, a lot of the other minority MPs who were on the floor additionally walked out. There were just about 60 members of parliament on the floor when he raised those issues. As we speak, there are just a little over 30 of them still sitting, and business is continuing. And the majority leader, Sechi Mensah-Bonsu, who described the act of the minority as unfortunate and something that shouldn't have happened.
Thanks, Joseph Opoku-Gapo, with that update from Parliament. And the news that's just coming is that minority MPs have walked out of Parliament after the Chief Whip, Muntaka Mubarak, accused the Speaker of lawlessness for refusing to hold proceedings over lack of quorum. Now, border immigration officials are on high alert at the Ghana-Togo border. They've accosted some travelers trying to use unauthorized routes into Togo. This comes as immigration officials begin strict monitoring at the country's borders following President Akufo-Addo's declaration over the weekend that all entry points will be shut down.
All our borders, that is by land, sea and air, will be closed to human traffic for the next 2 weeks, beginning midnight on Sunday. Anybody who comes into the country before midnight on Sunday will be mandatorily quarantined and tested for the virus.
Well, Fred Duho of our Joy Business Desk visited the border this morning and reports that travelers from Côte d'Ivoire say they are not aware of the announcement of the border closures.
I am currently standing at the border between Ghana and Togo, and as you can see behind me, these are travelers that are stranded at the Togo border. I understand they came this morning from Côte d'Ivoire, and that is their bus. And a number of them are trying to sneak into Togo and proceed to Nigeria. Speaking to me, a number of them indicated that they've not heard the news, and they are just worried what they are going to do. Togo, on the other side, has closed its border, and Ghana did so early this dawn, that is around 12 a.m. And I can report that most of them are trying to use the Okada riders to go through the unapproved or unauthorized routes and enter into Togo and proceed. But some of them have been accosted this morning, and they were brought to the main office here at the Togo-Aflao border, and they are just worried. Some told me they've been here for close to 2 days now, as when the Togo border was closed.
I don't have business. I don't do business. If you want to see the proof that I'm from there, I have the ID card. I mean, I wouldn't have been aware and just risk our life. We can't do that. So if we are aware that the situation is going to be like this, I personally and my brother, we are not going to jeopardize. This is jeopardizing life. The thing is now, we are in the middle of the sea now. We can't go from, we can't go back. What do we do? So, I mean, it's not, I'm not trying to be rude or to be, it's just frustrating issue right now.
I can say the port authorities here, the immigration and the port health authority, they are doing their best, utmost best, I must say. I was at the arrival hall and I realized that place was also closed, but there was this official post.
It indicated it's an instruction from the President of the Republic of Ghana. So we are going by that directives. Yeah, so at this morning, exactly 12:00 hours, we close it. Yes, as for the human resource, we have it. But the logistics to augment our activities is what is the challenge. But be at its may, we are doing the best that we.
And that report was filed by Fred Duho. You're listening to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top story, government describes as successful disinfection of markets as it deploys security agencies, including military, to supervise the exercise across Accra today. And Parliament makes arrangements to relocate temporarily to the conference centre as part of measures to curb the spread of COVID-19 among MPs. And when we return, we will hear from a fashion designer who's ventured into nose mask production to make up for the shortfall caused by spread of the COVID-19 pandemic.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
You're welcome back to the Midday News. It's time for sports, and Muftau Nabila joins us with details. Hello, Muftau.
Hi, Araba.
Pressure is mounting on the International Olympic Committee to postpone the upcoming International Olympic Games. And President of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Ben Mensah, has been speaking to Joy Sports about why no responsible leader will insist that they should organize the competitions despite these difficult times.
Well, I think that Ghana's position would depend on what the situation would be, especially in Europe. And now, if we're also going to take a decision as to us going or us not going, that is something that will be taken in conjunction with the government or the president of the land. But for now, I don't think that IOC would, looking at what is happening, will still insist or stick to the position that they had about 2 weeks ago when they had their executive board meeting. The spread is becoming so dangerous that it will not be wise for any responsible leader to make a decision and say that, look, let the games come on as scheduled.
And that's all for sports.
Thank you, Muftar. Now, the opposition NDC's team of professionals constituted to respond to the deadly COVID-19 pandemic says it is willing to support government's efforts at fighting the deadly disease. The 13-member team, which includes former Health Minister Alex Sebefia and former Interior Minister Prosper Bani, Clote Kole MP Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings, and Communications Specialist Mauna Treba. Well, at a prayer meeting yesterday, the former President Mahama said the team is available to provide support to government upon request on the fight against the pandemic. We're joined by former Health Minister Alex Sebefia on the line for more on this. Many thanks for your time, Mr. Sebefia. So, what are the various expertise members of this committee bring to bear on the situation we are currently facing? Hello, Mr. Sebefia.
Hello, Araba.
Yes. Good afternoon to you. So I was asking what the various expertise members of this committee bring to bear on the situation that we are currently facing.
Well, we have been in a similar type situation in the past when we were in government, namely the Ebola type situation. Fortunately, we never had the disease in the country, but we had made a lot of preparation towards it. So as a opposition now, but in government, we had a lot of plans. We had a lot of talk about what we needed to do. And so we have that expertise on the one hand. Then we have people who have worked abroad and who have dealt with similar type situations or have the necessary expertise in this area. And we thought that for three reasons. One, basically because we are Ghanaian and we all have a stake as Ghanaians in this, to have a voice and to be able to help as much as we can. Two, because we are the largest opposition party in the country,
right,
and our people will be looking to see what we have to offer them and say what it is that we can do. And thirdly, because the president had asked for a bipartisan approach, and so we thought we should have a team in place as and when we are required to assist or give advice. We are happy to do so.
So have you received any response from government? Have you reached out to them formally? Have they reached out to you?
Well, I can say that the point person involved of the record may have made some approaches, and therefore I know that things are in hand to actually deal with it. But this is because we don't want it to become a political to and fro of that nature. I'm happy to say that there are moves in hand for us to make some contact, or for contact to be to materialize, and for us to have some discussion one way or the other. But we will, in order not for it to become a political football, whatever discussions or whatever we have, we'll keep close to our chest at this stage.
Very well. Many thanks for your time. That's Health Minister Alex Sebefia, and he is one of 13 persons put together, constituted by the NDC to speak on this particular disease, and that they have also indicated they're willing to support government's effort at fighting the COVID-19. Now, they say necessity is the mother of invention. That expression has been given meaning by 40-year-old designer Augusta. Following the shortage and high demand for nose masks to prevent infections from coronavirus, Augusta has been sharing with my colleague Latif Idris how she got inspired to create washable nose masks made from African prints.
The coronavirus pandemic continues to sweep across the world with a trail of disruption in its wake. the virus is not just sending people to their early graves, it is also derailing the global economy. But in the midst of this same upside down world, a lady here in Tema Community 22 is getting innovative and smart. The coronavirus pandemic has dealt a big blow to businesses globally. Under a small canopy in Tema Community 22, Augusta has started making fashionable nose masks. Aside profit, she has another motive for starting this business.
I had a dream concerning this virus, and then I just prayed a usual dream. I prayed and then I forgot it until the news keep on coming. So because I love doing what I love to do, I was thinking of doing something to help Ghanaians, because most of the cover nose we are using, the mask we are using, they are imported.
Nose masks are mainly imported. The surge in the coronavirus pandemic meant automatic shortfall in demand for the product. Augusta tells me she's inspired to make up for the deficit by locally producing the reusable nose mask.
And I was thinking of using something that is of our own African print, that have two lining inside that you can actually wash, and also use other things that will help maybe kill the virus or the bacteria out of it. You re-iron it and you can use it.
But Augusta is not an expert in nose mask production. Aside the fashionable nature of the mask, she has limited knowledge about its effectiveness. Would you also consider getting input from, say, an expert in exactly the lining, texture, and everything that you need to perfect this product? Would you want to get that?
Thank you very much. I would really want to welcome that.
And Latif Adrisa filed that report. Just before we go, the Ashanti Regional Health Directorate has been briefing the press, and health authorities there say they are liaising with security agencies to arrest COVID-19 prank callers. They've also been given details about how a Chinese who presented COVID-19 symptoms refused to go to hospital, but he later tested positive. All contacts have been traced now. We'll bring you details in our subsequent bulletin. But for more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Araba Koomson. Have a lovely afternoon.